a stick in the ground, setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm applying no pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse of who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch, that's staying enough. It's time to receive for all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams, everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf, what's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one, look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and a stick in the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jazz. Shout out to Steve. The boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Ain't son to believing and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out there and there, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time if a dollar so cut her eyes. They get X'd out for they had the potential to be my ex. I know all the plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and a stick in the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all out, Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. It's the dream and we come. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream. Every single FOMC meeting right here at 1:15 p.m. Right after I took a shower. I don't know, guys. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart for spending your precious time here at 1:15 p.m. on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon to view this FOMC meeting. Guys, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin live during the meeting to see if we get any kind of crazy volatility. Now, as you guys know, we are getting a little bit of a pop to the upside. And if you guys were watching my live stream last night, we were taking a look at some key levels that we were watching on Bitcoin, trying to figure out. Shout out to Unknown Bengali. What is going on, bro? And guys, I do see that I am getting a weird error message on YouTube. So if this is a little bit of a spotty stream, I I don't know. I have my internet is as fast as it possibly could be. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but just bear with me. Burke said, "Oh, shower. I need to do that this week." But guys, we're going to be taking a look at the live FOMC price action, trying to figure out what Bitcoin is going to do next. Now, there are some very, very key levels that we are keeping our eye on. Again, if you saw that live stream from last night, you will know that we are watching some very, very key levels, and we may go up to some of those levels, tap them before absolutely nuking to the floor, or we might see the opposite happen. Now, with the FOMC meetings, guys, oftentimes what we see is the longs get wrecked, and then the shorts get wrecked, or the shorts get wrecked, and then the longs get wrecked, or we just kind of go sideways, which I think is what happened last time. So we'll have to see what happens in the dark depths of this bear market. Is this FOMC meeting going to be eventful, or is it just going to be one of those lackluster FOMC meetings that gives us no real volatility? But I want to talk about those key levels that I'm looking at for price to come up and potentially grab some liquidity before reversing back to the downside, or vice versa. We're going to be talking about those key levels, and we're going to try to figure out what this thing Bitcoin is doing. Yeah, shout out to Red Elephant, said, "Frankie, the charts tell you the news." You know we say that all the time. You tell me that, you show me, I show you the charts. Show me the charts, and I'll tell you the news. But guys, before we get into it, let's go ahead and shout out everybody in chat. Shout out to the Mafia. Let's see who we got. We got Paper Hands Moonboy. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for tuning in. Let's see. Shout out to Master C. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. We got Juan Lewis. What is going on? Matthew Barrett. What is going on? Said missed an internet bill payment. Shout out to Matthew. Yeah, I don't know. I think it. Yeah, I am actually getting a little loading wheel on the video, but my internet is good here. It's full. My internet is full. But let's see. Yo, shout out to Bit Voodoo. What is going on, bro? Shout out to Golden for gifting those 10 Frankie Candles memberships before the stream even started. You guys know Golden is out there gifting those memberships constantly. We got Jacko24. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. Let's see. Shout out to Dave Digital throwing up those Mrs. Candles hands and those Frankie Candles hats. To Nato Cabrera, what is going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. Unknown Bengali, as always, happy to have you. Jay Long, Creighton C, Learning in the house. We got Mr. Blake. Army Piper, what is going on, Army Piper? Good to see you in here, bro. Thank you for tuning in. We got Crypto Jam, Crimson Caravan Company. As always, happy to have you. And guys, we got the Godfather in chat. Show the Godfather some love. And let's go ahead. And without further ado, last but not least, shout out to Rolling 69ers. Ooh, giggity. Shout out to you, bro. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and try to figure out what the heck this thing Bitcoin is trying to do. So here we are. Let me go ahead and pull up OBS really, really quickly here, guys, so I can keep an eye on everything and make sure everything is going good. Yeah, my OBS says my streaming connection is excellent. I don't know, Bitcoin, YouTube is freaking out for some reason. Shout out to Golden's in chat. Use those golden emojis if you got them, guys. Out here gifting memberships once again. Absolute legend, bro. Golden, sir, this is a Chili's. Please do not gift all your money to us. I'm kidding, bro. We love you, and I appreciate you endlessly from the bottom of my heart, bro. You're like one of the biggest supporters now, and I truly am grateful for that. So thank you so much. But guys, let's take a look at the Bitcoin price action right now and see what is going on. Now, first off, what I want to do here is I'm going to turn off the TA as usual and do some top-down analysis to try to figure out what is most likely to happen here. Chat going absolutely nuts right now. But let's go ahead and, yeah, shout out to Rolling69 says, thanks for the shout out. Bro, welcome to the show. You pop up in here, you're getting shouted out probably every time, as long as I see your chat. But here we are, guys, right? And, just to go over some of the basic sentiment that we've kind of been talking about recently on the channel here. Again, I want to start off a little bit more macro, zoomed out, take a look at the price action, and then zoom into this local price action and try to figure out what the next likely local move is. But again, guys, if you're out there trading FOMC, shout out to Dosa Crypto. Shout out to you, bro. Sorry, that text is really small. I couldn't see it. I said, hey, Frankie, what was that site you used last night to show the liquidation levels? That was actually High Block Capital. This is what you're talking about right here. High Block Capital is that site, letting you know, and this is going to be, we're going to bring this back up in a second to talk about kind of the levels that I am looking at right now. You guys can see we actually have a little bit of a hot spot of liquidation levels up here between about 28,000 and, I would say, upwards of about 28.8. A lot of liquidation levels there, and the price is naturally attracted to these levels, guys. So we may want to go up and potentially go scoop all this liquidity before rolling back to the downside. This is one of the scenarios, keyword, one of the scenarios that we might see happen today. And guys, before we continue on the charts, I do just want to say this. If you're out there trading, please, for the love of God, please use good risk management. Make sure you have your stop losses set. I typically don't even trade these news days because you get unlikely volatility, right? Again, usually the shorts get wrecked and then the longs get wrecked or vice versa, but it's very unpredictable. A lot of the TA gets stepped on days like this. So any TA you see me do today, I would mention just more often than, or just more than, usual, I would take this with a grain of salt, right? Because again, this is going to be very heavily driven on what is said during this meeting. So, as you guys know, the likely outcome, I think it's like a 99% chance that they pause the rates for the second time this year, which would obviously, in the grand scheme of things, be bullish for crypto. But we're going to get a little deeper into that in just a second. But jumping right back into the charts here, this is High Block Capital. I'm not affiliated with these people at all. I just pay for this monthly. It's a big tool. I don't bring it up very often, because these are not exact levels. These are estimations. So I don't want anyone thinking that, like, just because we have liquidity up here means that we're guaranteed to come up and swipe it. Yeah, this is a super helpful thing just to try to figure out where the liquidation points are in the market, right? And again, you have to remember that price is attracted to these areas like a magnet. So, but yeah, there you go. High Block Capital. I forget who asked that, but shout out to you, dude. There you go. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Army Piper, said, I'm watching from Mexico. Sun, drinks, and TA. Bro, I could not think of a better thing, a better way to enjoy a Wednesday. I mean, I get to do the TA part, but I'm missing out on the sun and the drinks. But shout out to Army Piper. Thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you so much. But guys, so we're going to come back to this chart in just a second. But let's just take a look at the TradingView chart and just talk about kind of what we've been looking at recently and what we are likely to see come up in the near future. Now, generally, guys, as you know, we have been looking at this range for the most part. Coming in here, starting at about, in March 2023, obviously, coming all the way to our current price action. And our kind of general sentiment here, guys, with the volume profile was we knew once we lost this level, couldn't get back above the value area high, we knew that it was likely for us to come down to this value area low, where we started putting in some bullish confirmations, letting us know that it would be very, very likely to get some kind of a bounce as we deviated below that value area low. We were looking for long positions down here. Now, I am in that long position. My entry is at about 25,250. Let's see if the market maker can stop hunt me on today's live stream. We'll see if they can stop us out. But I am in two positions right now, guys. I am in this position here from about $25,250. That is my long entry. And then I am also short from up here as well, slightly in profit on that trade, but we'll get a little closer into that in just a second. But my point here is we use the volume profiles to kind of predict that we were going to get a bounce here. And we talk about this all the time on the live stream, right? And now the general sentiment, right, as we have the weekly green dot printing, right? Now we have the green dot printing on the weekly as well as the 6-day. This is a little bit more bullish in the short term, right? Now, why is this not bullish on the long term? You might ask yourself, well, hey, I thought that, Frank, I thought that when you get the signals on the higher time frames, they're much stronger than the lower time frames, and that is the case. However, this green dot here would indicate the short-term price action, right? The money flow is still generally flowing to the downside, and you can see here on the weekly, our money flow is still crossed over into the red, which would indicate that the trend is likely to continue down. With that being said, with the green dot, we may be able to see a little bit more of continued price action to the upside. And you guys know we are looking at some very specific levels above us. If we get above this 28K POC, we do have some very specific levels that we're looking at up here closer to about between 28.6 and about $30,000. Now, if we are going to see that weekly green dot play out and we are going to get a significant move to the upside, you can see here the last time we got a green dot, we did get that big move back up to the range high. However, once we confirm this green dot, if we're going to see it play out, I do think there is a possibility. I don't know how likely the possibility is, but I do think there is a possibility that we could run up into this golden pocket 786 value area high confluence. And this is going to be a big area that I am looking for swing shorts at, being that this is the full Fibonacci retracement level from the high all the way down to the low of this entire move, right? So on the highest end, if we're going to see this green dot on the 6-day and the weekly play out, we are likely going to potentially see a little bit more continued upside before eventually and potentially putting in a lower high and continuing our trend to the downside. And that's just my general sentiment. And that does right now, as of right now, it does remain exactly the same. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on down these time frames because I want to talk a little bit about if we're likely to get a move up or a move down here locally. So if we are looking at Market Cipher B, which again, I want you guys to take this with a grain of salt because of the news coming out in just a few minutes. I guess a few minutes. Right now, we have the daily VWAP rolling towards that zero line. Once we cross over that zero line, we're going to get that red dot on the daily, which could indicate a potential move to the downside. Now, on top of that, you can see here we do have a 16-hour red dot as well as a 12-hour red dot now printing. But remember, with the volatility likely incoming in a few minutes, we could see this red dot completely disappear, right? Again, we're taking this with a grain of salt because we do have this news coming out. Just from a more macro perspective here, I'm not getting super bearish until we break these lows, right? Down here at about 25,000, or really at about 24.8. Once we break these lows, that's where we may be able to look for more downside. But until then, with the green dots on the higher time frames, now one thing I do want to point out is your 2-day is rolling over. Your daily is also starting to roll over. And then again, your 12 and 16-hour red dots are printing. It's kind of a toss-up here, guys, because again, like I said, let's pull up this local TA, right? And let me hide the main analysis here, right? So when we're looking here, let me hide these single prints real quick. And when we're looking at this price action, we know that on that liquidity heat map, right, we have this level right above this high, right? Looking at the liquidity or the liquidation points between about 28,000 to 28,800, right? Now, those liquidation levels are sitting right above this swing high. So let's go back to the chart here, and this is that swing high right here. And you have to imagine that everybody short from up here likely has their stop losses set somewhere above, right? And due to that, based off of that liquidation heat map, that liquidity does come up to about 28.8K. Now, 28.8K has been a big level that we've been keeping an eye on for quite some time here on the channel. It is a macro value area low. I'm not going to show where that comes from just because I don't want to waste the time. But we have this level up to here, right? So we likely have a lot of liquidity sitting above this high. So there's a lot of stop losses and liquidation levels sitting up here at between this swing high and 28.8K. So the fact that we have all that liquidity sitting here, are we going to see price creep up and come sweep that liquidity to the upside before harshly turning around and dumping the market back down? Now, obviously, we always see crazy volatility on these news days, right? And this is again, just trying to predict here. And again, I do want to, oftentimes I get on this live stream, guys, and we talk about, based off the TA, what is most likely to happen. And I want to be very clear, on news days like this, things are very unpredictable. So even if we do wind up seeing some kind of if we do see some kind of crazy volatility, it's going to be very hard to predict right here. Shout out to Crow. Yeah, sorry, bro. I can't speak on that right now. But I appreciate the super chat, dude. But anyway, continuing on here, guys, it is very, very, very hard to figure out what is going to happen here first. But the one thing that we can know here is by looking at this liquidation map, we do have a bit more liquidity sitting above us than locally below us, right? So with that being said, it's actually pretty close. But yeah, I would say there is a lot more liquidity actually sitting up here, right? So the fact that we are closer to the higher end of the liquidity and the fact that we have more liquidation points and stop losses up here, on top of the fact that we do have that 4-hour green dot that is now printing. I actually talked about this earlier today. This green dot printing right here on the 4-hour, based off of Market Cipher, this would say we are due for somewhat of a move to the upside before, even if we are expecting a move down. You have money flow coming up, green dot on the 4-hour, so it may be possible to get that move to the upside. So, if we do get that move up, the one thing to keep an eye on is going to be, for me, this swing high right here, because I know if price comes up and hunts this, if it starts pushing price up, we're going to start stopping all these people out, and it's going to push price up only to potentially reverse, close the candle. If you guys saw my swing failure video on Sunday, this is This is basically what we were talking about, swing failure patterns, right? And if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend you do. I basically talk about how you can use swing failures in your strategy to get better entries, increase your win rate, and also get a super high risk to reward on your trades. But as we get a move up here, guys, if we approach this level, we may want to look for that wick above, right? And this is perfect that I put that video out on Sunday, because if we get this to happen, we could wind up, ripping above this and continuing up. But if we wind up getting a swing failure here, it would be a great live example. But basically what we're looking for here, guys, is if we get a push up and we get above this level, which is sitting at about 28,136, if we get above that level and we wick above and then come back down and close below, this is going to give us a swing failure pattern, letting us know that we have swept the liquidity above and potentially may see a reversal back down to lower prices, where we also have a lot of liquidity sitting specifically below right here at about 26,100, right? Basically this blue box between 26.2 and 26.1. Not only do we have liquidity sitting here, but we also have the POC as well as a 786 Fibonacci retracement level right here in that same area. That is not a fib retracement. Let me pull the local fib from here to the high. You can see that your 786 falls right in the middle of that blue box where we know we have a lot of liquidity, likely stop losses and liquidation levels from people who are long from right down here on this retrace. But if we get that move down, two things are likely to happen here, right? If we get the move up, we may sweep these highs, come back down, reverse back, and then come sweep the liquidity lower, right? That would be the shorts getting wrecked and then the longs getting wrecked, and that would be the, essentially the FOMC meeting accomplishing its mission, absolutely wrecking the shorts, absolutely wrecking the longs, and then picking the direction that it wants to go. But these are the key levels, guys. We're going to be looking at that level right here, 28,136, all the way up to 28.8. That could be where that liquidation event happens. And then again, on the lower end of things, if we get that move down, I will be looking at that blue box. This box is coming in between $26,214 and $25,993.50. And then, obviously, we also have this lower level below us. Now, it's a whole big zone here, essentially. This is a local Fibonacci retracement zone, right? And then we have the full Fibonacci retracement from the low all the way to the high here. Boom. We have that golden pocket 786 retracement with our value area low right in the middle. And we also have a bunch of, let me see, where did I put it? We also have these single prints, which are sitting right down here between about 25,575 and 25,225. And this is really what we are looking for, right? If we do get that, that's if we get the move down or when we get the move down. If you come down to this value area low, remember, we do not get bearish at support, right? You want to be looking for longs as you come to support, not shorts, right? The place to short would be up here, right? So if we get that push down, we may be coming to fill those single prints only to reclaim the value area low and continue up. So that's kind of my basic analysis here, guys. If I could keep things 100% simple and we take all the levels off, we get rid of the Fibonacci retracements, and we're just looking at price action, this is what I would say. And let me just go ahead and hide that range, right? Again, we are likely going to either, if maybe nothing happens, right? Sometimes that happens. But, likely we are going to swing fail this level up here, potentially, right? We will look for the swing failure here. We don't know if we're going to get it or not. We may continue up. But if we come up here, that's going to be a big level to wipe out all the shorts before bringing price back down to attack everybody who is long. And then once you get down to this range low, this would kind of be where we would expect a sweep of those lows and a potential reversal to the upside. And to be honest, with the 4-hour green dot printing on Market Cipher B, according to Market Cipher, again, this could get stepped on because of the news. If we do get a sweep of those, that 4-hour green dot could give us a move up, which could help us attack these highs. And then once that VWAP rolls back around, that might be where you're able to get a move back down to fulfill the red dot that is looking to print on the daily time frame potentially in the next few days. So please be careful out there, guys. Just so you guys, let me pull up the. Let me just kind of mark out where my positions are, because right now my plan, as of right now, 25 to 50. I'll get this as close as I can. But this is my long position right here, right? Long from 25,250, and I am also short from up here. Let me pull up the local levels, right? I am also short from the highs here slightly in profit on that trade, right? Massively in profit, up over almost 8% here on the long, but the short is only up just a slight little bit. But we're long from the bottom and potentially short from the top if we come down. But basically my plan here, guys, is this. I already have profits locked in on my long position. So if we wind up coming up and getting a sweep of these highs, I will take more profit on my long position. And then if we wind up getting that swing failure pattern up here at 28,132, if we wind up coming up here and rejecting that level, again, if we come up and sweep these highs, I will get stopped out of this short position for a very small loss. And then eventually, if we come up here and start getting those bearish confirmations, I will just simply look to re-enter the short position and then, again, take more profits off of my long position and then just look to short this on the way back down. So there you go, guys. That is kind of my plan and what I am looking for once this stuff happens. Let's see. Dave Digital says, I love ranges. Let's go. Let's see. Creighton C. Frankie is a whale. Darren, shh. Darren, I thought we were not going to talk about that, bro. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Satoshi Glockamoto in the chat. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for being here. Black Sales said, so take profit, you greedy candle. Shout out to Black Sales. Let's see. BTC just literally dumped when it heard Frankie was short. We get short, and then Bitcoin just gets scared. Sometimes we are able to move the market like that, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm kidding, guys. I don't move the market. I swear. But let's go ahead and let's take a look. I want to take a quick look at Ethereum. What is it? 140. Okay, so we got a little bit of time. Let's see. Shout out, yes, Satoshi Glockamoto. Shout out to you, bro. Good to see you in here. I love you back, bro. Let's see. Let's see. It's not going up more. It's prob going down potentially. I mean, that's definitely not impossible here, right? We have that confirmed bearish divergence here on the 4 hour. That's why I am short. So I'm kind of in one of those situations, right? Once in a while, you get into those situations where, it doesn't matter what happens for me, right? Like I'm already in profit on the long. I'm already in profit on the short. If we go up, I make more money on the long. If we go down, I'll just make money on the short, right? So it's kind of a beautiful position to be in. Shout out to Chemistry Bro said, whale goat, new species. You guys know that goat. You guys know that noisy goat. Let's see. What's up, 420 Bud Monster? What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. Red Man, what is going on, bro? Good to see you. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at these. I want to take a quick look at the liquidity heat maps here, guys. Now, one thing is I want to take a look on the 3-month. I want to zoom out just a little bit and take a look here, right? You could see below us, the biggest or most significant level that I would be looking at below us when you kind of zoom out on the chart here, you could see we have this kind of hot spot down here coming in between about 23.2 and I would say between 23.2 and 23.8. Now, is that a significant level on the chart? 23.2 to 23.8. Let's go ahead and hide our local TA. I'll drag this into the local folder. Go ahead and hide it. There we go. So 23.2 to 23.8. Well, it is somewhat of an interesting level, right? Because 23.2 to 23.8, 23.8 is right here at the bottom of our golden pocket retracement of this entire move from this swing low all the way up to the swing high. Let me just double check that. Yeah, from this swing low all the way to the swing high, this is 23.8. So again, we have this big wick down here. If we do get a big move down, and we just randomly wind up crashing to the floor, this is going to be that big level. And we've been watching this level forever, right? Like, for the most part, guys, the market has been extremely boring, right? We just basically been going sideways. But if we get that dramatic move, other than this big move right here, it was basically like 2 months of boringness, months of boring, like just so much boringness. And then, excitement, boringness. Are we about to get more excitement in one way or the other? And if we get that big dump, the key level that I would be looking at would be down here, sitting between 24,296 and 23,821. Again, not only do we now know that there is a lot of liquidation sitting down there below that wick, but I mean, I would even pull it all the way up here, 24.6, right? 24.6. Which is right about here, right? So, a lot of people who are probably long from down here, a lot of them probably got stopped out on this wick. But, this is all just approaching this next key level of support. So this is going to be that, continuing to be the key levels to the downside that I am watching. Nikki94 Boo, I hope big moves happen today as well. You have no idea. Let's see. Carrie, flip a coin. Let's go. Shout out to Darren Does Things. He says, bah! That's a goat, guys. That's a goat. If you don't know what sound a goat makes, Google it, and you will find that. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Cowpoke. Said, my 82-year-old mother-in-law knows I watch Frankie Candles every day, but for some reason last night during Taco Tuesday dinner, she asked if it was time for me to go watch Tinkerbell? Interesting. Shout out to Crypto Cowpoke. I don't know what that means. But shout out to Crypto Cowpoke and shout out to your 82-year-old mother-in-law. Tell her I said hi. What is her name? Is her name Francine? I feel like it might be Francine. Shout out to Crypto Cowpoke. Thank you for being here, bro. Everybody smile says goats aren't real. That is possible. All right, let's see. Sounds like something bad is happening to that goat. Shout out to Creighton C. I can't speak on that goat. I'm sorry. Shout out to Golden. All right, let's see. Why is CVD going up, down? Shout out to Raful. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. But if you could clear it up a little bit more in chat, I will be happy to try to answer it for you. Let's see. Yo, Jay Long said Frankie's goat sounds like my wife complaining. Oh, my God. All right, let's see. All right, shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for that super chat, bro. He says, Frankie, moved to Texas. Let's hang out at Mothership. Interesting. What is Mothership? I may not be cultured enough to know what Mothership is. But hey, Dave, I'll meet you anywhere, bro. You want to hang out? Name the place, and I'll come show up. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Crypto Cowpoke said, right, I'm as lost as you are on that one. Her name is Anita. Okay, I was way off with Francine. All right, let's go ahead and shout out to Patrick Leishman. Said, Frankie, happy to see you on lunch break. Shout out to Patrick Leishman. Let us know in the chat what you're having for lunch today. I had a breakfast sandwich from Starbucks for lunch. All right, let's go ahead and continue on, guys. Yeah, shout out to Gary C. Said, Frankie, you went to the Dude Ranch. Shout out to Gary C. You remember that, bro. Shout out to you. Says, Frankie, you went to the Dude Ranch. You can handle Texas. I've actually been to Texas. And yeah, I grew up around barns and horses and all that stuff. Probably why it's not a big part of my life now is because I grew up with it and it wasn't really my thing. Yeah, I just couldn't wait to get away from it. But yeah. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here and take a look. Let's take a quick look at, what time is it? 1:47. Let's go ahead and take a real quick look at Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it, as Ethereum not really following suit on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin didn't just dump, did it? Yeah, no. So Ethereum not really following suit on Bitcoin. As you guys can see here, we are simply stuck within this value area, which is this white box. Looking for a, once you hit that value area high, you can't get back above it. You are looking to come back towards your POC, which is right here. Once you decisively get below this level, which we are at least on the 4-hour. I was going to say, Dave, Mothership equals Joe Rogan's comedy incubator. Yes, I was going to say that, bro. I forgot he's in Texas now. I was going to be like, is that the comedy place that Joe Rogan opened? Dude, that would be sick. I'd be so down. I wonder what Farmer Frankie, I wonder what the, I wonder what the likelihood of seeing Joe Rogan there would be. Let's see. Yo, Jay Long said, Frankie from a young age knew he wanted to be a goat. Yes, maybe you should get like a goat tattoo. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here. Okay, taking a look, right? We are closing 4-hour candles below that POC, but remember, guys, with the news coming out, obviously this is going to be very dependent on what happens in the next 10 minutes. But, just based off the volume profiles, once you get stuck, if you can't get back above that POC, we would expect more downside for Bitcoin. Ethereum, if we can't get back above that POC. But again, we get good news. This thing is just gonna rip up. But that's kind of the thing, right? This is why I don't necessarily trade on these days, right? Because this is unpredictable, right? Like, it doesn't matter if we have a green dot about to print on the 4-hour. If it wants to nuke, it's going to nuke. But yeah, let's see. Yo, shout out to Dave Digital, said kill Tony too. I'll sign up for 1 minute if you do. Yo, Dave, I would do kill Tony. I would do kill Tony. Yeah, that's I forget that comedian that got big on there. He blew up after he showed up. He was talking about rocks. That guy had me rolling on the floor laughing. He's pretty funny. He likes rocks. Anyway, but yeah, guys, just overall on Ethereum, money flow coming to the upside on the 4-hour, 8-hour, money flow also rounding up a little bit with the VWAP coming up as well. Looking very, very similar to Bitcoin. And I really do think this is going to come down to what happens with the meeting, right? So if they get that pause that I think is 99% likely, likely we will get some kind of a move to the upside. Let's see. Get a GOAT tramp stamp. Don't tempt me with a good time. Who said that? Oh, God, it's gone. Whoever said that, don't tempt me with a good time. All right, let's see. A GOAT named Corey. Shout out to Corey. Corey, if you're out there, we love you, bro. We love you. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here. We got about 10 minutes here. Yeah, pause will still dump first, potentially. But yeah, now we have the key levels, right? Mainly on Bitcoin, we have the key levels that we're looking at. And yeah, we're starting to get, not really, I guess slight sideways action here. But now we have the levels, right? Again, I'm going to get rid of this lower range because I don't know if we're going to nuke that far. But if we do, hey. But let's go ahead and pull up that local, right? So if we get that move down, we will simply be looking at these blue boxes for a bounce with a potential panic wick to come, scoop this liquidity below the ranges, right? And the reason we are looking below the range, guys, I explained this the other day on the live stream. You have to think to yourself, right? When you're looking at a range like this, I'll even go ahead and hide the boxes, right? So we could just look at the simple volume profile range. Select this, go ahead and hide it. Hide this purple box. Boom. Boom, right? So the reason we're looking for a push down below these lows to potentially sweep the liquidity, right? You have to think that most people who are long, and I am long from down here, which is why, we'll talk about this in a second, right? But you have to think to yourself, right? If people are longing the bottom of this range, right? You have to imagine that there's probably a lot of people who are longing the bottom of this range, right? And they're probably over here. Stop losses are just below the range lows, below previous swing lows, what have you. But most of the longs here probably have their stop losses below this low, right? Leaving a lot of liquidity. And now you have this low here. So now people like us or people like me and people in the premium Discord who are long from this low, a lot of people's stop losses are likely, sitting somewhere below that swing low. Right, so there's a lot of stop losses below the range. Those got stopped out by that. Let me hide this real quick. The longs from the bottom of the range got stopped out on this big dump down here. We got in on this low, and if we come back down here, you have to imagine that those stop losses are now below that low, and you still may have some stop losses, but mostly below this low. So if we do come down, let me get rid of these trades. Right, if you wind up coming down, you just have to think. Where is the liquidity sitting? Where is that price? Like even here, this is a perfect example of a liquidity sweep or stop hunt, right? You have to imagine, again, right? You have all these people long from the bottom of the range, right? And all their stop losses are likely somewhere. Whoops, the heck happened there? A lot of their stop losses are likely sitting in this range, right? And then price comes down, stops out all those people, only to reverse and go back to the upside. And this is what we talk about. A lot of people always say, Why every time I get into a long or a short, I get stopped out and then price just goes the way I think it's going to go anyway? It's because oftentimes, there's a lot of liquidity being built up. If you're long, you're sitting here, you have to assume that you are liquidity, right? Because your stop loss is liquidity. And if you're sitting there, right, if price is going to stop all these people out, oftentimes what happens is they come down, scoop that liquidity, only to reverse price in the opposite direction, which is usually what you originally thought anyway. So oftentimes, I know there's a lot of people out there that are probably like, why does this happen to me? This is why it happens, right? Because you're just, the market makers are moving price down to stop everybody out, only to reverse price in the direction you thought it was going to go. So when you're setting your stop loss, you got to think, where are most of the stop losses likely sitting? And once you figure that out, you could kind of think like, hey, like even if you are trying to long before this liquidity sweep happens, what you can do is think to yourself like, hey, where's everybody's stop loss likely? Likely they're below either the range low or these wicks. And you could try to maybe move your stop loss in a little bit more of a wonky position that is a little less likely to be obvious to the market maker so they don't stop you out. And then you may be able to enter along here, get a little bit of a ride, and then when they try to stop everyone out, your stop loss is simply just not where everyone else's is. The dumb money or the retail, their stop loss is probably sitting here, but you're thinking like the whale, if this gets hunted, where is that going to go down to? Let me move it in a little bit more of an obscure area before getting a move to the upside. So there you guys go. But let's go ahead and see. Let's see. Oh, shout out to Face. What is going on? Crypto Face in the chat. What is going on, bro? He said, did FOMC happen yet? Yeah, it's in like 6 minutes, bro. 6 minutes. I kind of feel the same way, bro. I'm like the same thing. I was like, is this thing over yet? Like, God, just show me the chart. I don't care about the news. Shout out to Crypto Face, guys. Show Crypto Face some love. Let's see those market cipher emojis in the chat for Crypto Face. I appreciate you for being here, Face. Thank you so much, bro. Oh, whoa, hold up. Golden, sir, this is a Chili's. This is a Chili's, sir. I appreciate it, but I am forever indebted to you for gifting so much to the Mafia. But this is a Chili's, sir. This is not needed. We appreciate you, but please don't feel obligated. Shout out to Golden, bro. Absolute legend. Let's go. There's those market cipher emojis in the chat. If you just got a membership, if you click on your emojis, you will see that you have a bunch of new emojis that you can have access to, one of them being a market cipher emoji. So please go ahead and show Face some love. And if you guys want to sign up for Market Cipher, as you guys know, basically most of my analysis is based off of Market Cipher B and Market Cipher A, as well as Lux Algo. But if you guys want to sign up for Market Cipher, which is what we are using to look at money flow, the VWAP, the momentum waves, the bear divs, everything we're looking at on Market Cipher B, if you guys want to sign up, save 20 or 30%. Tony, if you could correct me in the chat, 20 or 30% discount if you use our link in the description down below. And if you're going to sign up for Market Cipher, what better time to sign up when Crypto Face, the creator of Market Cipher, is literally in the chat. Shout out to Face. Yo, Face, bro, you had me rolling on the floor in your stream the other day. I just popped in, right? I click on the stream, and it's just you serenading Bitcoin. I was scream laughing, bro. I was dying. Hey, shout out to Chaos. Chaos in the chat. What is going on, bro? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. And guys, I will say this. When I think Tony D is on it, but guys, I'm not even gonna try to find the decision of the rate hike because you guys always find it first. Like no matter, like I could be sitting there refreshing and somehow chat like just has it first. So I'm relying on you guys. I'm relying on you guys to give me the results, and then we'll pop in on the live stream and wait for the chaos to ensue if it is even going to happen. Like I said, guys, I believe the last rate hike. When was it? Was it the 25th and the 26th? I think it was the 25th, 26th, which is right here, which obviously, like, guys, we didn't really see much happen, right? Like right here. Let's see. And again, you know, oftentimes the estimations are correct. So they're estimating like a 90-something% chance of a pause. So chances are it's going to be a pause. If it comes out that they raise the rate, it's going to be extremely bearish. Yeah, anything other than that would be, you know, somewhat bullish. But yeah, the 25th, I believe it was the 25th to the 26th. And, you know, yeah, basically right here. Like, we didn't really see much happen, right? So 25th to the 26th. Yeah, we saw, like, not that much happen, right? Kind of lackluster, to be honest with you. So very interesting. And I do want to take one more look at the liquidity heat maps. I'm actually going to take a step back here and look at the 6-month chart. And I just want to kind of show you guys why I am looking. Now, this is not the only reason why, right? But this is just kind of confluence. But you can see here, right? Again, like zooming out on the 6 month, most of the liquidity is below, right? The heavy liquidity is below us, which could potentially attract price down. But you can see also, we do have a little bit of spike in liquidation levels above this high. This is similar to the swing short area that we are looking at. And then obviously above these highs, you have a lot of people who are short from the top here with massive liquidity above. But again, most of the liquidity is lower down here at about 24.3. So we'll have to see what happens. I do want to be very clear, guys. This is not as easy. Looking at these liquidation heat maps, this is not as easy as just pulling up the chart, looking and seeing where the brightest yellow bar is, and then just getting into a short and waiting for it to hit that level, right? Price could easily, just because there's more liquidation points below us, doesn't guarantee that price is going to go there first. Oftentimes, what will happen is, even if you have liquidation levels above and below you, you'll kind of just bing-bong around between those levels, right? So you reject here, you bounce here, you might be on your way back up here to just reject again. But, it's not as easy, like, oh, no, don't zoom in. Dang it. But it's not as easy as just, like, finding where the most liquidity is and then just it's a guarantee that price is going there. It's not the case. But oftentimes, price will be attracted to where the most liquidity is lying. All right, let's go ahead and see here. We got 1 minute. My eyes are on chat. Shout out to Cal's World. Thank you so much for that super chat, bro. Let's see. Shout out. He says, "Hey Frank, wish I had more time to catch your live streams. Glad you're feeling better and doing well as always. I'll always be a supporter for the channel. When Law of Attraction channel. Take care, bro." Shout out to Cal's World. Cal's World actually gave me a handwritten Christmas card, which is so dope. Shout out to you, bro. I hope you're doing well. I hope your kids are doing well also. And yeah, bro, we should make a Law of Attraction video. The Law of Attraction, I'm a big believer in manifestation. I don't think it's some voodoo where it's just like you think something and it appears. But I've had some weird things happen in my life. Very, very weird things. All right, let's see. No change, unchanged. Okay. All right, let's take a look here. Let's zoom into, should we go down to the 1 minute? Let's see what's happening. Oh, it's beginning. It's beginning. It's beginning. Oh, there it goes, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's pull up the, nuke it. Let's go. Okay, hold up, guys. Let me pull up the, okay, here we go. Send it to 0. Send it to 0. All right, let's pull up our levels here real quick, guys. I'm going to get off the 1 minute, right? It's not as exciting as it looks, right? It's just a little pop down. All right, let's see. Down then up. There we go. It might be the case. It might be the case. Let's see. Take a look at that. Take a look at the local levels here. Yeah, I mean, God, to be honest, guys, like we're going to need some crazy volatility to come in here. This is, yeah, we'll see. All right, let's see. Shout out to, Ben Redden, said, you're FOMOing me in this. No, don't FOMO, bro. Don't FOMO. Please do not FOMO. Come on, pump, baby. Pump, baby. Let's go. Shout out. Hey, Crypto Face wants it to pump, guys. That probably means it's going to pump. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. No rate hike. Okay. Back to 10,000. Meh. I don't know. I listen. I'll say this, guys. I'll say this. I would love. Yeah, rate hike paused. Okay, yeah. So expected. Thank you for that, Tony. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing about 10K, I think is very unlikely to go. I think we're very unlikely to hit 10K. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I'm not saying that it's impossible at all. But I think it's much more likely that the bottom is in at 15.5. I think we could get like massive. I think we could get more downside for the rest of this bear market, right? Like you guys kind of know. Would you guys be interested in seeing that? Yeah, Crypto Face, bro. I am in the same exact boat, dude. I am thinking sideways as well. I don't know if you mean the local price action or like the macro. Like when we zoom out here, really what I'm expecting is, I talked about this earlier today, is like you could see in 2019, we had that bear market rally, topped out at about 14K, kind of bled out a little bit. Like we got more downside. But let me pull up the Bitstamp chart real quick. Like you can see here, right? Bull market. Beginning of or start of the bear market, right? 50% capitulation. This was the bottom. Then we had the bear market rally, topped out at 14K, and then we got a little bit more downside. But for the most part, you were kind of, other than the panic wick down here from March of 2020, we all know what was going on back there. But, for the most part, we kind of just went sideways. It was kind of just like accumulation year, and then finally the halving happens, and then you're off into the bull run. And I would expect something similar, right? I say it all the time. You guys are gonna be like, oh my God, he said it again. History doesn't repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhymes, right? So what do we have here? We have bull market top. This, in my opinion, was the real top. This is where social sentiment peaked out. This is where the search term analytics for Bitcoin topped out. And then this was some kind of an inflated dead cat bounce. I believe this was supposed to be a lower high, in my own personal opinion, but it was some kind of inflated dead cat bounce. But then we come down, start of the bear market, right? Capitulation, bottom, potential bottom, bear market rally. If we topped out here at the bear market rally, maybe we kind of bleed out a little bit here. But then for the most part, we kind of just continue sideways until the halving and then the next bull run. And if you guys watch the show, that's like my sentiment on that has been the same for probably, basically since I started the channel, right? Like before all this price action happened, we haven't predicted it exactly, but my sentiment for how the bear market plays out is kind of the same. I believe our original bottom prediction was bottoming out between mid to low 20s, I believe, was where I thought the bottom was, with a possible panic wick to 14K. We didn't get the panic wick to 14K, but we did come down to 15.5. So you're never going to catch it to the dollar. I'm happy with that. That is close enough for me. All right, let's see. Even if it takes a month to get there, please, 23K. Yeah, 23K. Here's the thing, though. Even though I think the bottom is likely in at 15.5, here's the thing. I would very much enjoy a 10K Bitcoin. Like if we went down to, I'm always waiting for a dump, right? Once we get that dump, I'll just scoop up cheaper Bitcoin. So as much as I want to hit 10K, like my emotions want that 10K Bitcoin, but it's just, if it doesn't look likely on the charts, it doesn't look likely on the charts. But if we do come down there and it starts to look likely, I will be pumped. Shout out to Skull Cruncher. What is going on, bro? Says thank you to whoever gifted me the membership for the channel. Shout out to you, bro. That man's name is Golden, and he is an absolute menace and an absolute savage, and we love him to death. Let's see. Yeah, Nikki 94 Boo says nothing burger. Yeah, nothing too exciting here yet. I mean, we can go down to the is that the volatility, guys? Is that the volatility? Wick from 27,244 to 27,82. Was that the volatility? I hope not. Hopefully we get some kind of a move in here. But, I mean, what would that... Yeah, hopefully that's not all we get, guys. That would be quite lackluster. Less than a 0.6% move. Hopefully we get something bigger than that. Yeah, shout out to Satoshi Glakamoto. It says, I'm not stacking BTC, but if we see 10K Bitcoin, I'm buying a full Bitcoin, no question. Yeah. Excuse me. Shout out to Satoshi Glakamoto. I would probably agree with that. Not that I'm not stacking Bitcoin, but yeah, Bearish CBD has not played out. Interesting. Shout out to Darren. Yeah, we need a Jerome Powell. We need a Jerome Powell emoji for sure. DXY. Let's check the DXY. Absolute. I mean, this is the 1 minute. Yeah, I mean, it's just boring, guys. I mean, like. Yeah, I mean, DXY kind of little bit of some kind of a weird doji candle there. I mean, if you go to the 1 minute, it looks like it ripped, but I mean, even if, I guess the 45, it's a little bit of a pop there. But let's see. Likely places, in my opinion, for the DXY. Let me pull this full fib here from the high to the low. What is this? That's 108. Yeah, I mean, we could potentially go for that macro golden pocket test. I don't know if we'll make it all the way back up there. What I'm looking at on the DXY here is the weekly money flow. This weekly money flow on the DXY, guys, is, we're back in the green, but that VWAP is coming down. Historically, when you get these money flow crossovers on the weekly on the DXY, they for the most part, basically begin bull markets for Bitcoin, right? Any major crossover, this happened in March of 2016. And then soon as, I guess you came back into the green slightly, you could see kind of ranged around, came back up, and then we got the real money flow crossover, which was in 2017, and on the way down, that was when the Bitcoin bull market was going on. So, just in general, this money flow coming out on the DXY would be, somewhat bullish in the long term for crypto, right? Because even if we bing bong around here with the money flow, like a little bit like that, and then it comes into the red, and that's where we get the real dump, right? So maybe we wiggle sideways, come up a little bit, wiggle sideways, and then we get the big dump on the DXY, which would cause the next Bitcoin bull market. It's not that would cause it, but is likely that's how they're correlated. They're inversely correlated. So when the DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. When Bitcoin goes, when the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. But even if you wiggle around sideways here, just kind of generally, right? Like, it's 301 days, right? Like that's a year of price action on Bitcoin until we finally get the halving to come in. And the halving is obviously expected in May. So that's not even too far off of a prediction, right? So let's say, money flow kind of comes back into the green, then back into the red, then back into the green, and then May 2024, right? We could have a decent bit of pretty boring price action, like 250 days, call it as an average, just rounding, 250 days of pretty boring price action on Bitcoin before the actual halving comes and we get that next bull market. Pretty interesting. Let's see. The speech will be more informative. We need to know if they are still considering more increases or if they are done increasing for this cycle. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Yeah, we will. I believe he talks at 2:30. So we'll have to see what happens when he gets on stage. Let's see. Wiki, not to be confused with Wakiki. Shout out to it's Mr. Armstrong 33. Let's see. Satoshi Nakamoto said, "I'm alt heavy. I don't plan on selling any of my Bitcoin. I've thought about trying to flip it, but I just stack it like I stack gold and silver. I just stack and don't trade. Alts are where the potential is." Yeah, Satoshi. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, right? Obviously I do have a lot of Bitcoin, but for the most part, like Bitcoin's returns are diminishing quickly, right? Like, take a look here. Look at the bull markets, right? Bitcoin is completely. Actually, let me pull up the cycle chart real quick. And if you guys haven't seen this cycle chart, I haven't pulled this up in a while. But it's basically. Let me go ahead and hide this. Pull up the Bitstamp chart. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with my cycle chart, I just have all the halvings, all the basically every bull market, the bottoms, the tops, all marked out here. And if you kind of measure these bull markets, right? So here's a halving, right? So from the low to the high, right? About 10,000%, right? Now let's look at the return from that next bear market to the next bull market from 10,000%. Another 10,000%. Is that right? Hang on a second. Yeah, and then now look at the diminished returns here. From bottom of 2018 to the top of 2021, 2,100%, right? As the market matures, as more money comes into this asset class or just into Bitcoin in general, the harder it is to move that needle, right? That's why people gravitate towards the altcoins for massive gains, because they are lower market cap. There's less money in them, so it takes less money to move that price, right? So that's the simple market cap theory there. But as more money enters the market, it's going to be harder to push that price up higher and higher, which is why you get diminished returns on a maturing maturing asset, right? So as the asset matures, you get less and less explosive gains. The moves down and the moves up are both muted as time and money enter, or as time goes on and money enters the asset. But the kind of trade-off there, the positive trade-off there, is that you get a little bit of a you get a little bit more of stability, right? You get a little more stability, but you get less opportunity in those explosive gains, right? So I am definitely a little bit more alt heavy than in Bitcoin for that reason, right? Now, if I was giving anybody, if someone new to crypto was asking me, what should I do? Should I buy Bitcoin or altcoins? Generally I would point them to be a little bit more Bitcoin heavy if they're not like experienced, because it's going to be a little bit more of a calm ride. So there you go. Shout out to Satoshi Nakamoto. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, honestly, the DXY is still in the show. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. No BTC for me, just ETH and major caps for now. Yeah, shout out to Darren. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Bad Axe. It says, few more months of Frankie and I'll be there. Shout out to you, bro. I hope so, man. I hope so. I think you could do it. Let's see. Would you say XRP had the greatest profit ratio or no? Dose of crypto over what? Like you're saying going into the next bull run, do I think that has the best profit ratio? Chances are what is going to give the biggest return is either not around right now, will likely be found in the bull market. Like the coins that go absolutely ballistic, a lot of these are a lot of these coins that you find that go absolutely ballistic in the bull market, a lot of them are not here yet, right? They come around in the bull market. It might be some kind of crazy meme coin, right? Last year or last bull market, you had SHIB went absolutely ballistic. But yeah, kind of hard to say which one. Yeah, kind of hard to say. No, my prediction for XRP, right? Now, predictions are obviously very speculative, but my thought would be that if you were to get a new all-time high on XRP, that it would likely be let me pull up the Bitstamp chart so I get a little more price history in here. So if we were to break the all-time high, I think a more likely realistic price prediction, XRP is, I hate to be the guy, guys, but XRP is likely not going to $10,000, right? That's like, let's be realistic here. It's not going to, a lot of people are preying on their $100 in XRP going to $10,000 per XRP. It's simply not possible when looking at market cap theory. That is just not how it works. I know they have the argument of internet of value, right? Or just like it's an internet of value, which could mean that all other, not only money but also assets could sit within the XRP. I don't know what they think, but likely, guys, in 2024, I'll tell you this: if in 2024, if XRP goes to $10,000. Me, along with millions of other people, are going to become the richest people. There's going to be millions and millions and millions of billionaires. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And just like looking at the charts, looking at market cap theory, like, it's just not possible. But my realistic prediction for XRP would be probably closer to, like, on the higher end, $10 to $12. On the lower end, $5 to $8, which would be still a significant return, and I know that is going to disappoint a lot of people. But here's the bright side. I could be wrong. I mean, I definitely don't think it's going to 10K. But I could be wrong. But here's the thing: like, you're still going to get a $1,400. If it goes to $8, right? That's a 1,600% return, right? That's still a massive return on your money. Right? So, and it's a bigger return than you're likely going to get in any other asset class. So, still massive gains to be had. I have a huge bag of XRP. It's one of my biggest bags, right? So I want XRP to go up, but I've been around for a while, right? So I'm not going to be sitting here waiting for XRP to go to, like, do we understand how unrealistic $10,000 is? Like, where is 10K? Like, right? Oh, no, that's not 10K. 8K, right here, right? So that's 11,000, right? So let's just say it goes, like, that is very unlikely, guys. But hey, listen, if that happened, I would be like probably a multi-bazillionaire. So I'm not against it. I'm just saying I'm realistic, right? I'm not going to be holding on. If XRP rips to $12, I am not going to be sitting there waiting for 10K and holding it back to the bottom. I'll tell you that much. Everybody, most people that get into crypto in their first cycle, they hold all the way back to the bottom. I was a beginner as well at some point, so I'm not doing that again. That's for sure. Let's see. Tony D said XRP better stay below 50 cents or below. XRP to 3 cents. That would be nice. Pick up a fat bag. Let's see. I'm gonna start TP at $5. I mean, that's the thing, guys. Like, here's the thing. I talk about this a lot. I did really well with SafeMoon, right? And I bought it as a joke. I think I put like $100 in, like, as a complete and total joke. And I was just like, whatever, I'll put $100 in. If I lose it, I don't care. But it wound up like going up to like 15K, right? And I'm just like, whatever. Like, it's this thing's gonna moon, right? Like, whatever. And it went all the way back down to zero, right? So, like, even though that $10,000 may have not been like life-changing money, Like I could have just pulled the 10K out and had 10K to put into something else, right? So just don't be the person that's holding all the way to the top. And especially if you are new to crypto, just understand that your gut is probably going to try to make you hold on until you're a millionaire. And chances are, unless you're investing a lot of money, or you luckily catch that super low cap gem, that 1000Xs, chances are you're going to wind up holding to get rich overnight. And I listen, crypto creates millionaires overnight. That is for sure, right? That does happen. But I don't think it's as common as people realize. Like, here's the thing. I've never really met somebody that just bought a random meme coin and became a millionaire overnight. It doesn't happen, absolutely, right? You have the Dogecoin millionaire guy who wound up losing all his money anyway, right? It's a perfect example. This is a guy who was working for $50,000 a year, and he was just a normal guy, and he took out a bunch of credit cards, and he bought as much Doge as he could, and he turned a couple $100,000 into over $1 million. And this guy probably thought Doge was going to $100. He's probably one of those people that doesn't know anything about crypto, doesn't know anything about financial markets, has no experience. He was just kind of like a meme guy, and he was like, I'm holding it to 100, like power of the people, which I'm all there for that, but he wound up holding all the way to the bottom again, right? And he lost everything, and that's what happens to a lot of people in this market. So I'm not going to sit up here in front of an audience of people and tell you guys, hold on till you're a bazillionaire. Like, take profits that will affect your life in some way. It doesn't have to be $1 million, but like, take the profits, because like, if you don't pay yourself when you're in the green, you'll be shocked at how quickly you could be back in the red. So there you go. A little bit of a tangent there. Let's see. Shout out to Dosa Crypto, said, yeah, I just like that Dogecoin idiot who never pulled his money. I just let it sit there, lost everything for money. So, but Dosa Crypto, that's okay, right? The only way that ends not in your favor is if you give up on crypto, right? So as long as you see what you've done wrong and you correct that, and you have the discipline to the next time that you see yourself in profit, you're not just going to hold on forever. As long as you can correct that mistake, then you're on the winning side, right? So as long as and it sounds like you recognize the mistake, right? So like, that's just move on from it, and you'll be more profitable. All right, let's see. I bought a lot of Link and got a sufficient house deposit together. Let's go. Shout out to Darren Does Things. That's the thing. Like, when things start going back up, guys, like, buy stuff, right? Like the time to buy is in the bull market, right? When everything's in the green, everybody wants to like hoard all their crypto because they think it's never going to stop going up. And it's easy to fall into that when everything's just going up in a straight line. It seems like you could just close your eyes, click buy on a random coin, and the next day it's up 5x. And that is fun, and it's the best part of the market, obviously. But remember, like, when your crypto portfolio is huge, don't forget to take profits. It's like the most important thing. Let's see. Do you believe in H-Bar? Jonas. Yes, I like H-Bar. I actually put a video out on H-Bar recently if you want to go check that out. Shout out to the H-Bar Barians. Let's see. All right. Shout out to Raful says, can you check out the CVD on Coinalyze? Yes, let me pull that up real quick for you. Yeah, make an exit strategy and stick to it. Lose the emotion, make the gains. That's what I would say is... And that's the other thing, too. Be careful on YouTube, guys. Be careful on YouTube. If you're listening to somebody who's telling you that XRP is guaranteed to go to $100, run as fast as you can. These people do this to get views, right? And obviously you got to play the YouTube game. You got to make the thumbnails, right? And because you got to make the video enticing to click for people. But if you're watching someone stream and like, the thumbnails or whatever, if you don't make it an emotionally enticing thumbnail, no one's going to click it, no one's going to watch it. But if you get into that live stream or that video that you clicked on, that thumbnail clickbait, and the person on the other side of the screen is telling you clickbait stuff like XRP is guaranteed to go to $100, then run away as fast as you can. That person does not know if XRP is going to $100. They're just saying it with confidence, and people who are inexperienced think to themselves, well, that guy's got to know more than I do, right? So just be careful. You will never catch me on here saying that something is guaranteed to go somewhere, because I don't know, and neither does anybody else. Nobody. It doesn't matter how many followers they have, how many subscribers they have, how many people trust them. It doesn't matter. They don't know, right? So just keep that in mind. Be careful with the price predictions, because during the bull market, let's say, VeChain hits $1, right? I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying, let's see VeChain hits $1. At that point, these content creators and these people, especially the random people in crypto, are so high off the idea that VeChain just hit $1, And they're going, oh my God. And that's when they feel like it's never going to stop. And that's when they're calling for can VeChain actually hit $5? And they're going, I think it can. It already ripped from $1 if you just 5X. Like, be very careful. Just make sure you pay yourselves, guys. Be very careful. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Shout out to Mr. Blake, said Frankie Candles is my YouTube. Shout out to you, bro. I will never come up here and promise you something that is not possible, right? Like, I try to be, I am as honest as possible, right? Like, I'll even tell you with trading, right? It is, most people who get into trading lose money, right? But it's not because, it would be beneficial for me to be like, hey, watch me every single day because you're guaranteed to get rich. I can't guarantee you get rich. Most people who get into trading are going to lose money. And the sad reality of it is most people don't have the resilience and the determination to try and lose at something for an extended period of time, which is almost needed when you're learning how to trade, right? You need to go through that period where you lose money consistently over time until you fix all your mistakes, get your emotions under control, and find a strategy that works. You have to pay that market tuition, right? So chances are, like, even most people who try and stick with it for a little bit are eventually going to get frustrated and give up. So I can't guarantee you're going to make money trading, but it would benefit my channel if I told you were guaranteed to be rich if you watch me. But you're never gonna hear me say that because it's not true. And the whole point of this YouTube channel is to help you actually make money trading and just investing in crypto, right? So I'm in this for the long game. I'm not here to get a quick buck. I built my channel in the bear market. I'm not someone who's showing up in the middle of the bull market just like, oh hey, what's up guys? Just buy this, like clickbait, views, right? Like, I'm here to actually help people invest and actually learn to understand what they're doing and make money not only trading but also investing in crypto. And I want to build a strong community, which we already have done, and I want to see you guys prosper. It's not like you guys come in here, I give you garbage information, I'm like, I hope I never see that guy again. I want you guys to come back and be like, hey, I learned something, I made money, and that's the whole point of this channel. But let's see. All right, let's take a look at the CVD on Coinalyze. Let me go ahead and pull up my presets here, and let's see. I don't know exactly what Raful wants us to look at, but yeah, I mean, we got a decent bit of liquidations on this 5-minute candle, about 1 million in liquidations, 1 million in long liquidations. CVD, nothing really screaming at me on CVD, to be honest. Open interest is coming up. Most people are interesting. Let me see. You're a smart mofo, Frankie. Shout out to Don't Worry. Be happy, bro. Don't worry, be happy. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you. He says, show us the way, bro. I will tell you this. I will never purposefully mislead people. Sometimes people are like, oh, man, that thumbnail was clickbaity. And it's like, you got to make you'll never see a thumbnail of mine that says Bitcoin to 100K. And then you click on the video and I'm like, Bitcoin's guaranteed to go to 100K. Usually our thumbnails are like a question, right? Like, can Bitcoin hit 100K before the end of the year? Question mark. And then we dive into the possibilities in the live stream and come to a conclusion, right? And that's basically how I run things on the channel. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and, I will say, go back to the 5-minute. Nothing super clear. Let's see. Shout out to Satoshi Glakamoto, said, I know you're supposed to have no more than 10 to 15 coins, but I've got way more than that. But only actively putting money into 8 to 9. There you go. That's not bad. I mean, 10 to 15 is not that bad. You're saying you have more than 10 to 15? I don't know. I don't know how much I hate that, man. Here's the thing. It's really all about understanding where to allocate the money, right? So, like, are you allocating, if you have 30 coins, you don't want to just be like, you just want to know which ones to go a little heavier in, right? So like for me, I probably have like 8 to 10 coins that I heavily invest in, and then but there's probably like 40 or 50 that I'm invested in. But the 40 to the top 10 that I'm invested in, that's like really the ones I believe in, right? And then the other 40, say, or 30 are just small gambles. I don't have 40 coins right now, but I'm just saying, just in general, like when we get up to the bull market, like you got to take chances. You got to be in it to win it, right? So you see like a little coin comes out, you believe in the project, you think it might be good, or even if you don't believe in the project, you just think it's going to pump off hype. You got to play those coins as well sometimes, and if you don't risk it, if you don't risk it, then you're likely not going to. You got to have your line in the water to catch a fish, right? And sometimes you got to have 40 lines in the water. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Cribbit Crypto said, "Do you ever show your live trades?" I do show my live trades. Right now I'm in a couple small trades. Get the biscuit. No risk it, no biscuit. Shout out to Creighton C. But yeah, shout out to I forget who said it. Cubic Crypto. Yes, we do show live trades. We do a lot on the show. But yeah, long locked in here. I mean, almost a grand, 500 locked in, almost in profit. This one, this is the one I'm worried about. This Bitcoin short. This Bitcoin short's the one that I do think is more likely to get stopped out. Yeah, this one's a little more likely to get stopped out in my opinion. But yeah, short answer, yes, we do show live trades. All right, let's see. All right, we got the live stream popping up here. I'm gonna pull up my face cam real quick here, guys. While I click this link, God forbid Tony tries to troll us live. That has happened before. That has happened before on the channel. But let's see. Okay. All right, let's pull it back up. Take a look at. So yeah, with the CVD, slight bullish CVD here, like on the 1 minute, but it's not really, CVD is just flat. I mean, look at this CVD, just straight flat. With the CVD, guys, you guys want to have a general direction, right? You're not paying attention to the numbers. You're just kind of drawing a line like, is this generally trending up or trending down? It's generally sideways, which results in sideways price action, right? So CVD is just straight sideways. Even the spot CVD, the future CVD, this tells you if this is moving up, that means that more people are longing than shorting. And if it's trending down, that means more people are shorting than longing, right? And then the spot CVD is the same thing, but it's just letting you know if more people are buying or selling. And these are both almost completely dead straight. So, yeah, just pretty obnoxiously boring. But let's see if we can get some volatility here on the live stream. Let's pull up the actual meeting. Shout out to Tony D said, "Nah, listen, you got to take precautions, bro, because one day it might be a fake Tony D." That is possible. That is possible. Shout out to Lydia. I appreciate you. Says, "You're a legend." Some people say I'm a legend, but I am I am real living proof. I am a living person. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Lydia. I appreciate you. Let's see. When it goes flat, they always drop the beat. Let's go. That's my whole deal. I have a top list, and the others are smaller amounts or free airdrops. Yeah, that's my thing. It's like you have your bread and butter, your top 8, top 10 coins that you're looking to make the bulk of your money with, and then everything else is the crypto casino that you can have fun with, right? And then if you lose all that money, say, you're still fine because your actual investment strategy is still in play, completely safe. Those gambles are just for fun, and you never know. Those gambles could wind up giving you a big win. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here. And let me see. Okay, here we are.
Strong
Let's go.
Market conditions that benefit all. Since early last year, the FOMC has significantly
Can you guys hear that?
the stance of monetary policy. We've raised our policy interest rate by 5.25 percentage points and have continued to reduce our securities holdings at a brisk pace.
Oh,
We've
I just
covered
got
a lot
stopped
of
out of
ground,
something.
and the full effects of our tightening have yet to be felt.
Was it the short?
Today, we decided to leave
Oh,
our
it was the
policy
maker short.
interest
I got
rate
stopped out of the maker short.
unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Looking ahead, we are in a position to proceed carefully in determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate. Our decisions will be based on our ongoing assessments of the incoming data and the evolving outlook and risks. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a solid pace. And so far this year, growth in real GDP has come in above expectations. Recent readings on
Shout out to
consumer
Alex O.
spending have
What's
been
up, dude?
particularly robust. Activity in the housing sector has picked up somewhat, though it remains well below levels of a year ago, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates. Higher interest rates also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment. In our Summary of Economic Projections, or SEP, committee participants revised up their assessments of real GDP growth, with the median for this year now at 2.1%. Participants expect growth to cool, with the median projection falling to 1.5% next year. The labor market remains tight, but supply and demand conditions continue to come into better balance. Over the past 3 months, payroll job gains averaged 150,000 jobs per
Sponsored by
month,
Apple.
a strong pace that is nevertheless well below that seen earlier in the year. The unemployment rate ticked up in August, but remains low at 3.8%. The labor force participation rate has moved up since late last year, particularly for individuals aged 25 to 54 years.
Roasting his iPad.
Nominal wage growth has shown some signs of easing, and job vacancies have declined so far this year. Although the jobs to workers gap has narrowed, labor demand still exceeds the supply of available workers. FOMC participants expect the rebalancing in the labor market to continue, easing upward pressures on inflation. The median unemployment rate projection in the SEP rises from 3.8% at the end of this year to 4.1% over the next 2 years. Inflation remains well above our longer run goal of 2%. Other data, we estimate that total PCE prices rose 3.4% over the 12 months ending in August, and that excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 3.9%. Inflation has moderated somewhat since the middle of last year, and longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. Nevertheless, the process of getting inflation sustainably down to 2% has a long way to go. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.3% this year, falls to 2.5% next year, and reaches 2% in 2026. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. As I noted earlier, since early last year, we have raised our policy rate by 5.25 percentage points. We see the current stance of monetary policy as restrictive, putting downward pressure on
Wayne
economic
C,
activity,
a lot of
hiring,
liquidity
and
sitting
inflation.
above 28,120.
Target range for the federal funds rate,
Oh no, it's frozen.
putting
Oh, there we go.
downward pressure on economic activity, hiring, and inflation. Target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25 to 5.5%, and to continue the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. We are committed to achieving and sustaining a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation down to our 2% goal over time. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. If the economy evolves as projected, the median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 5.6% at the end of this year, 5.1% at the end of 2024, and 3.9% at the end of 2025.
Satoshi.
Compared with our June Summary of Economic Projections, the median projection is unrevised for the end of this year, but has moved up by 0.5 percentage point at the end of the next 2 years. These projections, of course, are not a committee's decision or plan. If the economy does not evolve as projected, the path of policy will adjust as appropriate to foster our maximum employment and price stability goals. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the totality of the incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation, as well as the balance of risks. Given how far we have come, we are in a position to proceed carefully as we assess the incoming data and the evolving outlook and risks. Real interest rates now are well above mainstream estimates of the neutral policy rate, but we are mindful of the inherent uncertainties in precisely
iPad's
gauging
killing
the
me.
stance of policy. We're prepared to raise rates further if appropriate, and we intend to hold policy at a restrictive level until we're confident that inflation is moving down sustainably toward our objective. In determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2% over time, the committee will take into account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation, and economic and financial developments. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Reduce.
Come on. This guy's boring the internet.
Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission.
This is a snooze
We at the
fest.
Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
All right. Nuke it. All right. Well, there we go. Dang, man, if this was all we got, guys, this was quite a boring FOMC. Bro said nothing. Yeah, here comes the dump. Hopefully, here comes the dump. Is that 4-hour green dot going to disappear? Come on, baby. Dump it. Dump it. Kind of hard to say. Yeah, nothing happened. I have so much stuff on my phone. Shut up. But yeah, there you go, guys. I mean, not too exciting. Maybe we see something happen, throughout the day, but I mean, or throughout the rest of the day, I should say. We need a dump. Yeah, I would love a dump. The Bears begging for a dump. Go to the toilet. Shout out to Muhammad. I'm ready for both. I'm ready for both here. We got the pump. We got the dump. I'm in pretty good shape for both of these. I would love a dump. It usually reacts to the Q&A. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Do you guys want to hear the stream, or do you want to watch the chart? Let me know. We could play the audio of the chart. We could play the audio of the stream in the background if you guys want. I'm going to go puke and take it
by deciding to
That was just a total
about
waste of
that
time.
question, by
Watching
deciding
out
to just maintain the rate and wait for
Yeah, this is pretty boring.
So
Just play the audio.
right
Okay.
now, it's still an open question about sufficiently restrictive. You're not saying today that we've reached this level.
Yeah,
We're not saying, no, clearly we are just, what we decided to do is maintain the policy rate and await further data.
Shout out to
We want to
Mr.
see
Blake.
convincing evidence, really, that we have reached the appropriate level, and we're seeing progress, and we welcome
Play the
that.
chart audio. I want to hear the
But,
candles.
we need to see more progress before we'll be willing to
Yeah.
reach that conclusion.
And just on the 2024
hour.
projections, what's behind that shallower path for interest rate cuts and the need for real rates to be 50 basis points higher?
Right, so I would say it this way. First of all, real interest rates are positive now. They're meaningfully positive, and that's a good thing. We need policy to be restrictive so that we can get inflation down to target, okay?
Powell waiting
And
for
we're
confirmation.
going to need that to remain to be the case for some time. So I think, remember that of course, the SEP is not a plan that is negotiated or discussed really as a plan. It's accumulation, really, and what you see are the medians. It's accumulation of individual forecasts from 19 people.
check out Exo charts
And then what
real
you're seeing
quick.
are the medians. So I wouldn't want to, bestow upon it the idea that it's really a plan. But What it reflects, though, is that economic activity has been stronger than we expected, stronger than I think everyone expected. And so what you're seeing is this is what people believe as of now will be appropriate to achieve what we're looking to achieve, which is progress toward our inflation goal, as you see in the SEP.
Thanks. Let's go to Rachel.
Hi, Chair Powell. Rachel Siegel from the
Yo,
Washington
shout out to
Post.
Crypto
Thanks for taking
Cowpo.
our questions.
Just see a
How
hand
would
come in
you
from the side of the camera, and he's just like,
characterize the debate around another hike or holding steady? Is it discussion around lag times, fear of too much
yeah,
slowing,
Bit Voodoo
too
says
little
everybody waiting for him to
slowing?
be dovish
Could
or
you walk
hawkish.
us
He comes
through
out
what this disagreement
slothish.
was
Yeah,
about at the
really.
meeting?
I wasn't tired before this. Now I'm
Yeah,
exhausted.
so the proposal at the meeting was to maintain our current
Yo, everybody smile.
policy stance. And I think there was obviously unanimous support
Oh,
for
boy.
that.
All right, let's see here.
But this, of course, is an SEP meeting, and so people write down what they think. And you have some, you saw, I think 7 wrote down no hike at this meeting, or between now and the end of the year, and I think 12 wrote down another single hike in one of the next 2 meetings that we have between the end of the year. So it wasn't like we were arguing
What a
over that. People
nightmare.
just stating their positions. And really what people are saying is, let's see how the data come in.
Yeah, but can
You
we
know,
get a
we want to see, what we want to see.
coin
We want to
last
see
real quick.
that
Good squeeze, actually.
these good inflation readings that we've been seeing for the last 3 months, we want to see that it's more than just 3 months, right? We want to see, the labor market report that we received, the last one that we received, was a good example of what we do want to see. It was a combination of across a broad range of indicators, continuing rebalancing of the labor market. So those are the 2 things. Those are our 2 mandate variables, and that's the progress that we want to see. But I think
really.
people, they want to be
kinda
convinced,
gross,
they
guys, I'll
want
be
to be
honest with you.
careful not to jump to a conclusion really one way or the other, but just be convinced that the data
Talk about a
support
doji
that
candle.
conclusion. And that's why, given how far we've come and how quickly we've come, we're actually in a position to be able to proceed carefully as we assess the incoming data and the evolving outlooks and risks and make these decisions meeting by meeting.
I see. And in your view, I know nothing has been decided yet, but what would one more hike at the end of the year do to the economy or to inflation? And on the other side, what would no hike do, if you could sort of game that out for us?
So, you can make the argument that one hike one way or the other won't matter, but for us, we're trying, obviously as a group, it's a pretty tight cluster of where we think that policy stance might be, but we're always going to be learning from data. We've learned all through the course of the last year that actually we needed to go further than we had thought. If you go back a year and what we wrote
This
down, it's
is
actually gotten higher and higher.
indecisive.
So we don't really know and that's why, again, we're in a position to proceed carefully at this point. A year ago, we proceeded pretty quickly to get rates up. Now we're fairly close, we think, to where we need to get. It's just a question of reaching the right stance. I wouldn't attribute huge importance to one hike in macroeconomic terms. Nonetheless,
I would prefer a move
we
up.
need to get to a place where
I would
we're
really prefer
confident
to get stopped out of my
that we have
small
a
short
stance that will bring
to have
inflation
more
down to
of
2%
my
over
long
time.
play out.
That's what we need to get to, and we've been
See what
moving
happens.
toward it. As we've gotten closer to it, we've slowed the pace at which we've moved. I think that was appropriate. And now that we're getting closer, we have the ability to proceed carefully.
God, just totally indecisive here.
Steve Leisman, CNBC. Mr. Chairman, I want to return to Colby's question here. What is it saying about the committee's view of the inflation dynamic in the economy that you achieve the same forecast inflation rate for next year, but need another 0.5 point of the funds rate on it? Does it tell us that the committee believes inflation to be more persistent, requires
Jeez,
more
this is
medicine
hard, guys.
effectively?
There is
And
not
I guess a
much to
related
go
question
off of
is,
here.
if you're going to project a funds rate above the longer run rate for 4 years in a row, at what point do we start
Got a
to
little
think, hey,
licked
maybe
here.
the longer rate or the neutral rate
A little
is
liquidation
actually higher? Thank you.
divergence. These play out nice sometimes.
So I guess I would point more to, rather than pointing to a sense of inflation having become more persistent, I wouldn't think that's not, we've seen inflation be more persistent over the course of the past year, but I wouldn't say that's something that's appeared in the recent data. It's more
Yes.
about
Darren,
stronger
I'm pinning
economic
that, bro.
activity, I would say.
No trade
So,
unless you're already in one.
If I had to attribute one thing, again, we're picking medians here and trying to attribute one
I am not getting
explanation,
in
but I
any
think
fresh trades right
broadly,
now. I'm either getting
stronger
stopped out of my
economic
short,
activity means
long's going to pay
means
out,
rates,
or
we have to do more with
I probably
rates,
won't get stopped
and
out of
that's
my
what
long,
that-
to be
that's what
honest.
that meeting is
Probably just
telling
come
you.
back down on the long, have the short play out a bit more. But yeah, I don't recommend anybody really getting into trades right now. You want to let the dust settle, let the unpredictability settle.
In terms
I mean,
of,
I'm
of
almost at a
what
loss
the
of words
neutral
here.
rate
This
can
is
be. You know,
this is gross.
we know it by its works. We only
Last time Paul showed emotion when was the DR slapped him at when the doctor slapped him at birth. Yo, you guys are menaces. His skin is hanging over. Stop it. Stop it, guys.
It may, of course, be that
He's a
that
rooster.
that the neutral rate has
Hey,
risen.
I'm a goat.
You do
I
see
can't. I'm
people-
a farm animal too.
You don't see the median moving, but you do see people raising their estimates of the neutral rate. And it's certainly plausible that the neutral rate is higher than the longer run rate. Remember, what we write down in the SEP is the longer run rate. It is certainly possible that, that the neutral rate at this moment is higher than that. And that that's part of the explanation for
Is he still talking?
why the economy has been more resilient than expected.
Oh boy. He doesn't even need the tie. He has one built in. Oh my God.
Howard Schneider with Reuters, thank you. So you've said several times that the economy needed a period of below-trend growth to get inflation.
Shout out to Dosa Crypto. You can
You
kick this
kind of
guy.
get that in
We wouldn't even have
2024,
an
little bit,
expression or
1.5%,
any type of
it's just a
response
touch
from him.
below, what's the estimate
They
of
probably
potential.
did that
So,
strategically. They're like, hey,
the fact that
Jerome's
we're
got
getting so
no
much done
emotion
at so
whatsoever.
much
Let's
less
have him
cost,
deliver
does
the
that
message.
represent a change in how you
It's
think
probably an
inflation works,
attack
a
on the
change in how
traders.
you think
Like,
the
you
economy
can't read
works,
his face. The
a
traders can't
change
read
in
his
the
face.
mix
Put him
of
in front of
supply healing versus demand destruction that's necessary to achieve this?
Yes, of course, it is a good thing that we've seen now meaningful rebalancing in the labor market without an increase in unemployment, and that's because we're seeing
You
that
see that? He just looked
rebalancing
at his
in other
handler.
places.
He's like, I'm not getting out of
In,
line,
for
am I?
example, job openings, and in the jobs worker gap. You're also seeing supply side things, so that's happening. I would say though, I still think, and I think broadly people still think that there'll have to be some softening in the labor market that can come through more supply, as we've seen as well. Also, remember the natural rate we think is coming down, which is a supply side thing, so that the gap between any given unemployment rate that's lower than that and the natural rate comes down. That's a way for that's a way for the labor market to achieve a better balance. So all of those things are happening. You're right. In the median forecast, we don't see a big increase in unemployment. We do see an increase. And but that really is just playing forward the trends that we've been seeing.
Tony D.
That is not
Is
guaranteed.
it Jerome
There may
or is it
come a
Jeremy
time when
spelled wrong?
unemployment
I
goes
think
up
it's Jeremy
more than
spelled
that,
wrong.
But that's really what we've been seeing is progress without higher unemployment for now.
So just to boil that down for a second, we've gone from a very narrow path to a soft landing to something different. Would you call the soft landing now a baseline
Oh, there we go.
expectation?
All that has happened here
No,
is that I've
no.
gotten stopped out of my maker
I would
short.
not do that. I would just say, what would I say about that?
And
I've always thought
That's
that
about it.
soft landing was
my
was a
long and my
plausible
short are still
outcome,
sitting at the
that there
same
was a path
profit that they've been sitting
really
in
to
all day.
to a soft landing. I've thought that, and I've said that since we lifted off. It's also possible that the path is narrowed and it's widened. Apparently, ultimately, this may be decided by factors that are outside our control at the end of the day. But I do think it's possible, and I also think this is why we're in a position to move carefully again, that we will restore price stability. We know that we have to do that, and we know the public depends on us doing that, and we know that we have to do it so that we can achieve the kind of labor market that we all want to achieve, which is an extended period, sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. We know that. The fact that we've come this far lets us really proceed carefully, as I keep saying. So I think that's the end we're trying to achieve. I wouldn't want to handicap the likelihood of it, though. It's not up to me.
It's Cody's fault. We need Cody to bring
Nick
some
Timmer,
excitement to the
Wall Street
press
Journal.
conference. Come on, Cody. Where are you
Chair
at?
Powell, both you and Vice Chair Williams have indicated that sufficiently restrictive will be judged on a real rather than nominal basis, implying some scope for nominal rate cuts next year, provided further compelling evidence that price pressures will continue to subside. Is the FOMC focused on targeting a real level of policy restriction? And can you explain what would constitute enough evidence that will allow the FOMC to normalize the nominal stance of policy while keeping real policy settings sufficiently restrictive?
I mean, yes, we understand that it's a real rate that will matter and that it needs to be sufficiently restrictive. Again, I would say you know sufficiently restrictive only when you see it. It's not something you can arrive at with confidence in a model or in various estimates, you know. And so what are we seeing? We're seeing, you know, through a combination of the, you know, the unwinding of the pandemic-related demand and supply distortions and monetary policy's work in suppressing demand or
They're gonna stop
alleviating
out all
very
these
high
shorts.
demand. The combination of those two things is actually working. You're seeing, you know, inflation coming down. It's principally now in goods, also in housing.
Yeah, Gary
services.
sees that I
You
can't take
begin
this
to see
anymore. My
effects
better
of it
option
in
is
non-housing
finishing a
services
tilling
as well.
job.
So
Shout out to Gary
we
C.
think that is working. And
You got massive amount of longs, shorts
I
opening.
think
here.
what, you know, as we've said, we want to reach that, we want to reach something that we're confident it gets us to that level. And I think confidence comes from seeing, you know, enough data that you feel like, yes, okay, this feels like we can, for now, decide that this is the right level and just agree to stay here. We're not permanently deciding not to go higher, but we would, let's say if we get to that level. And then the question is, how long do you stay at that level? And that's a whole nother set of questions. For now, the question is trying to find that level where we think we can stay there. And we haven't gotten to a point of confidence about that
brutal.
yet.
Inflation projection for this year, and even then it seems possible that core PCE inflation could come in even lower than the median at 3.7%. Would you see a case to raise rates still if it turned out that you were going to achieve the same real rate this year because the decline in inflation proceeds somewhat better than you currently anticipate?
The decision that we make at each meeting, and certainly at the last two meetings this year, it's going to depend on the totality of all the data. So the inflation data, the labor market data, the growth data, the balance of
Jabroni
risks and the
Powell.
other events that are happening out there. We take all of that into account. So I can't really answer a hypothetical about one piece of that. It'll be trying to reach a judgment over whether we should move forward with another rate hike overall, and whether that would increase our confidence that yes,
CBD is still flat,
this is an
at
appropriate
least on
movement. It will
coin-wise.
help us be more confident that we've gotten to the level that we need to get to.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Following up on Nick's question, actually, John Williams, the New York Fed president, obviously, has said things to the effect of next year as
Yeah, Tony
we see
D called
inflation
it. He
kind
goes,
of
"Bro, it's gonna be the
again,
most
to Nick's
boring
point,
FOMC
as
we've
we see
ever had."
inflation coming
I
down, we're going to
did
need to
not believe
reduce
him, that's
interest
for sure.
rates to make sure that we're not squeezing the economy harder and harder over time. And I wonder if that's basically the logic that you apply. You know, is that how you think about it? And then I also wonder, in the last press conference, you said something to the effect of, you know, it's a full year out, those discussions, and people interpreted that to
Where's
mean
Gina?
that you didn't see a possibility of a rate cut in the first half of next year. And I wonder if that was what you meant by that, or whether, you know, how you're thinking about that timing.
No, when I answer these questions about hypotheticals about cutting, I'm never intending to send a signal about timing. I'm just answering them as the question is expressed. So please, I wouldn't want to be taken that way. Sorry, the first question was that how? Yeah, so we're, as we go into next year, that's the question we'll be asking is, you know, taking into account lags and everything else we know about the economy and everything we know about monetary policy. The time will come at some point, and I'm not saying when, that it's appropriate to cut. Part of that may be that real rates are rising because inflation is coming down. Part of it just may be that it'll be all the factors that we see in the economy, and you know that time will certainly come at some point.
We could get the we
And
could
what
stop
you
out the
see is
shorts here.
us
There are a lot
writing
of
down,
shorts
you know,
opening right
a
here.
year ahead estimates
Negative
of what that
11
might be.
million
And you know, there's
delta.
there's so much uncertainty around that. When we in the moment, we'll do what we think makes sense. No one will look back
Bumblebee
at this and
tuna.
say, "Hey, we made a plan."
Yeah, this is
It's
brutal.
not like that at all. These are estimates made a year in advance that are highly uncertain, and That's how it is.
Thanks so much, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin with Axios. Wonder, how do you think about the question of whether the strong GDP growth that we've been seeing is driven by excess demand versus supply side factors, productivity, labor force growth? And relatedly, if GDP keeps coming in hot, even in the absence of inflation resurgence, would that on its own be a reason to consider more tightening?
So on your first question, I mean, we're looking at GDP very, very carefully to try to understand.
Yeah, let's go, Face.
Really, what's
Let's
the
go.
direction of it? What's driving it? And it's a lot of consumer spending. You know, the consumer's been very
hasn't dumped yet.
robust in its in spending. So that is.
For money flow on the 4 hour.
You know, that's how we're
Face.
looking at it.
Ooh, baby.
Sorry, your
Let's
second
go,
question
green dot.
was.
Let's get it.
There's GDP stays hot, but without inflation.
I would love
So
to rip
I think
to
the question
28,
will be
130.
GDP is
Get
not a
the-
mandate.
get the swing
right?
failure,
Maximum
roll it
employment
back
price
around,
stability
dump
are the
down,
mandates. The question
take
will
the
be
lows, and then
is the
send it
level-
up
is GDP,
for the weekly green dot to
is
play
the
out.
heat that we see in
That's what I
GDP
would
is it
want.
really a threat?
That's my ideal
to our
situation.
ability to get back to 2% inflation.
I don't know if we'll get it,
That's
though.
going to be the question. It's not a question about GDP on its own. It's you know you're expecting to see
Cowpoke
this
says, Crypto Face is
improvement.
my hero. Let's
Yeah,
go. Shout out to
continued,
Face.
Rebalancing in the labor market and inflation moving back down to 2% in a sustainable way. We have to have confidence in that. And
Oh, shout out
you
to Crypto
know,
Crab Man. We did
we'd be looking at
ICP
GDP
last night.
just to the extent that it threatens
We could take a look at it
one or
again, though.
both of those.
Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico.
Crypto Nate B
There
says,
are
"Yo,
multiple external
Crypto Face, fat
factors that are
finger that
playing out
button for
right
us,
now.
would ya?
We see rising
come on,
oil
Face, dump it
prices.
for us,
we
bro.
see auto workers striking. There's the looming, very real
No,
possibility of
listen,
a government
I can't
shutdown.
sing
And I
as
was just
good as
wondering,
Face
for
was
each
singing
of
last
those
night.
Things, could you talk about how
That
you're
was
thinking
amazing.
about how that might affect
I was
the course
literally
for the
scream
Fed and the
laughing that
economy?
entire time.
So there is a long list, and you hit some of them. But it's the strike, it's government shutdown, resumption of student loan payments.
Oh, Crypto
higher
Crab Man.
long-term
Yeah, I
rates,
guess, yeah, it
oil
probably
price
was the fake
shock.
out.
You know,
I'll take a look
there
at
are
it
a lot
before we
of
hop
things
off
that you
here.
You can look at.
Sing a lullaby for
so
Crypto
what we try to
Face
do
and
is
make it
assess
about
all
Market
of them
Cipher B.
and handicap all of them. And
Maybe I
ultimately,
will
though,
do that on
there's so
tonight's
much
stream. I'll
uncertainty
try.
around-
If I have time to
around
think of
these
some
things.
lyrics,
To
I'll do
start
that.
with the strike. First of all, we absolutely don't comment on the strike, as we have no view on the strike one way or the other, but we do have to make an assessment of its economic effects to do our jobs. So,
Well, guys, I
you know,
feel like I should end the
thing about it
stream
is so uncertain. It will depend.
because
The
that'll probably
economic
move the
effects,
price.
It could affect. You look back at history. It could affect.
You guys know every time I
economic
sign off,
output, hiring,
usually
inflation.
we get a move.
But
So
that's
maybe
really
if I get
gonna
off,
depend on how broad
we'll
it is and how
actually
long
get
it's sustained
a.
for. And then it also depends on how.
Oh, yeah,
quickly
Darren said it was a
production
fake out. Okay,
can
so
make up for lost
maybe I'll
production.
pause
So
this.
None of those things are known right now. It's very.
I'm gonna pause this.
To know.
We'll take a quick look at ICP for Crypto Crabman. But yeah, we looked at ICP, and I was just basically like, hey, I don't think I've ever seen this thing do anything other than go down. And it was kind of sad to look at. But let's take a look. Yeah, let me extend this volume profile real quick. So yeah, where were we yesterday? This is the 1 hour. What is this? Yeah. All right. Well, we are getting right now a local Golden Pocket test or Golden Pocket 786 test on ICP. Money flow crossing over into the red on the 1 hour, 12 and 16 hour, looking for the red dot. I don't know. I'd be careful. I don't know. I'd be careful with ICP right now because money flow looks pretty good on the 4 hour. Like on a lot of these time frames, money flow doesn't look bad. 2 day, doesn't look as good on the higher time frames, but 8 hour, 4 hour. 4 hours in the green, 6 hours coming up, 4 hours coming up. The only thing I would say is this 1 hour money flow crossing over into the red with your 12 and 16 hour red dots about to print. That could give you a move down. If you get a bigger move down, kind of the two levels that I would be looking at is this Golden Pocket retracement, 786 retracement right here between about $3 and about $2.99. 2.997. If you lose that level, I'd simply look to come down here. You have a lot of confluence down here. You have a 786, a Golden Pocket, the POC, and the value area low. This would be a big level. So if you can get a move down on ICP into this level, that is where I would look for a long potentially. But with this fresh 16-hour red dot looking to print, I don't know if I'd be ready to look for a long at this moment, unless I was trading like the micro time frames. 4 hour green dot coming up with money flow. That's something to watch too. Kind of messy. I just don't like this 16-hour and 12-hour red dots. Well, there you go. Is that a blood diamond? No. Wow, shocker. Shocker. But, yeah, you're getting that red dot to start to flash now. So I would let this 12 and 16-hour red dot play. If it brings you down, I'd look for a long potentially in this area, not financial advice. But, yeah, I would be careful. But money flow on the 4-hour doesn't look too bad. Once that VWAP does eventually cross over into the green, you're getting a short signal here on the 4-hour on Market Cipher A. But once you get that crossover into the over that zero line to print that green dot, that could be where you get the move up. But I think that 12-hour may step on this red dot potentially, give you a rejection on your VWAP here on the 4-hour. This is what I would prefer to see. I'd prefer to see a move down before looking for a long at the low to look for another move up. But I would just wait for this 12 and 16-hour to play out, these red dots that are looking to print. Not financial advice. Could be wrong. But I wouldn't really be looking to go long here in my own personal opinion. Yeah, no div here or anything like that. Let's see. Yeah, fugly chart at the moment. Yeah, this is this is just chop. I don't like trading this garbage. That's why, it's just my general strategy, right? Like if I were looking for a short on ICP, but the place I would be looking for that short is when I deviate above that value area, right? I'm looking for shorts here. I'm looking for shorts here. I'm looking for shorts here. If I'm looking for longs, I'm looking for long down here, down here, down here, down here, right? And right now, we are not above the value area or below the value area. So I would not be looking for a trade here, right? So me personally, just based off my own personal strategy, if we did get a move down here, this is where I would look for the long. If we came back up, maybe I'd look for a short. But again, I would like to see that 12 and 16-hour come down. Maybe you come up locally, but I would wait until you bing bong around, maybe get that 12 or 16-hour red dot, come back down to the low of the range, look for a long position to then hopefully get that 4-hour money flow crossover and get a sustained uptrend, break out of your value area, and then continue up. One thing I will say here is if we pull up our VPVR, you do have, right, like once you break out of this level decisively, like right here, once you break out of this, look at the gap, right? You got a pretty big gap all the way up to, I would say, about 320. Right now, you obviously have a high volume node here at about 313, high volume node here at about 308. But in general, pretty big fall off in volume here, which could potentially give you that quick move up to that $3.20 area. So whether you get the move down and then the breakout, or if you just randomly break out here, not impossible. Again, I think the more likely situation is you bing bong around, get the move down, and then look for the long. But once you break above this level right here at about $3.05, once you get above this level decisively, that's where you could look for a quick move up to about $3.20. So, guys, I think that is all the time we got for today's FOMC live stream. That's a 2-hour stream right there. But, yeah, pretty boring price action, guys. Absolute, not very every time price creeps down, market maker is dumping shorts. Yeah, not the most exciting price action for an FOMC. Just still, like, Bitcoin did nothing, guys. We were up here. FOMC happened, and we are just still up here, right? Like, nothing happened. That 1 minute did have me a little bit excited. Oh, sorry. I don't think I was showing my screen. That 1 minute did get me excited here. I thought we were going to start something exciting, but again, that was like a very, very small move, right? Zooming out, nothing happened. We just kind of just still chilling up in this area. So just kind of going sideways. Not the biggest exciting FOMC that I've ever seen. Very Powell-ish meeting, said the exact same thing as the last 10 meetings. Yeah, it's just like our FOMC meetings no longer a trigger for volatility, potentially. Like the last FOMC we had was pretty boring as well. Right, like the 26th, 25th and 26th, I believe. Again, please somebody correct me if that's wrong. I'm almost positive, though. It was the 25th, 26th was the last FOMC. So, yeah. Let's see. July, 25th. Yeah, 25th. I mean, yeah, it's just like not really, nothing really happened, right? I guess we got a little bit of a pump, but even from wick to wick, it's like 3%. It's like nothing exciting. Like zoom out, this is like, that's an FOMC meeting, right? Super boring. The excitement there happened on the excitement here happened right before leading up to the meeting. So, But yeah, guys, I think that's all the time we got for today's FOMC live stream, guys. But yeah, BTC holding 21, everything but the weekly. But yeah, Frankie is the GOAT. Shout out to BitVoodoo. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Hopefully, the next FOMC meeting, or maybe on the live stream later tonight at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, maybe we can get some kind of excitement to come in here and get a little bit of some kind of a move, up or down. I don't even care at this point. Both my trades are in. But guys, that's all the time we got for today's FOMC live stream. Appreciate every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. I will see you guys later. Same place, different time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. That's all I got. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal